The Cold War drove the US and Soviet Union into a relentless race for air superiority. By the late 1970s, the US Air Force's F-15 Eagle ruled the skies, but new Soviet fighters like the Su-27 and MiG-29 threatened that dominance. The Air Force needed a leap forward, a jet that would guarantee air superiority for decades. Thus, the Advanced Tactical Fighter, or ATF program, was born in 1981. The goal: replace the F-15 with a revolutionary aircraft boasting stealth, supercruise, and advanced avionics. The ATF had to be fast, agile, stealthy, and packed with cutting-edge sensors and weapons, all while being nearly invisible to radar. This wasn't just about making a better F-15, it was about inventing a new breed of fighter. The stakes were enormous, tens of billions of dollars and the future of American air power. Two industry giants stepped up: Lockheed, with Boeing and General Dynamics, and Northrop, with McDonnell Douglas. Each team would build and test two prototypes, pushing the limits of aerospace engineering. The competition was designed to ensure the Air Force got the best possible aircraft. The stage was set for a legendary fly-off, the YF-22 versus the YF-23. This contest would shape the future of air combat. The world watched as America's next great fighter took shape. The outcome would define air dominance for a generation. Northrop and McDonnell Douglas entered the ATF competition with the radical YF-23. Nicknamed Black Widow II, it was a stealth-focused marvel, designed to be nearly invisible from every angle. Its distinctive trapezoidal wings and V-shaped tail minimized radar reflections, while deeply buried engine nozzles reduced its heat signature. Two prototypes were built, one with Pratt & Whitney engines, the other with advanced General Electric variable cycle engines for superior speed. Both exceeded Air Force requirements for speed and range, proving Northrop's bold design was more than just futuristic looks. The YF-23 carried all weapons internally to maintain stealth and featured a panoramic cockpit display for unmatched situational awareness. Highly automated systems reduced pilot workload, letting them focus on the mission. Northrop's philosophy, the unseen fighter wins. The YF-23 embodied this, built to dominate through invisibility and speed. It was a silent hunter, designed for the wars of tomorrow. The Black Widow, the Sakurban, the Black Widow Bunter was a masterclass in stealth engineering. It set a new standard for what a fifth-generation fighter could be. The YF-23 and YF-22 revealed two distinct visions for the future of air combat. Northrop's YF-23 prioritized stealth and speed, aiming to strike unseen and escape before the enemy could react. Lockheed's YF-22, while still stealthy, focused on extreme agility and dog-fighting prowess. The YF-23 was faster, had a longer range, and was believed to be stealthier, especially from the sides and rear. It was the ultimate interceptor: get in, strike first, get out. The YF-22's edge was its thrust-vectoring nozzles, enabling jaw-dropping maneuvers impossible for other jets. Lockheed argued that even stealth fighters might end up in close-range dogfights, where agility would be decisive. Both prototypes met or exceeded Air Force requirements during testing. The YF-23 wowed with speed and stealth. The YF-22 dazzled with agility and missile launches. The Air Force faced a tough choice: a stealthy long-range interceptor or a supremely agile dogfighter. The decision would shape not just the next fighter, but the very doctrine of American air combat. Performance was only part of the equation. Risk, cost, and vision mattered too. The fly-off was more than a contest. It was a battle of philosophies. The heart of the debate: is stealth and speed more important, or is agility king? Northrop bet on beyond visual range combat, win by staying hidden, striking first, and never getting close. The YF-23's stealth and speed gave its missiles more reach and made it hard to detect or catch. Northrop believed that if you ended up in a dogfight, something had already gone wrong. Lockheed, however, insisted that agility still mattered. History showed that close-range fights could happen, no matter the technology. The YF-22's thrust-vectoring wowed Air Force pilots who valued the ability to outmaneuver any opponent. Agility was a tangible, visible advantage, easy to demonstrate and hard to ignore. The Air Force's culture favored pilots who could win any fight at any range. The F-22's dogfighting prowess became a powerful selling point. Stealth and speed were impressive, but agility was something the Air Force could see and trust. The competition became a clash between the future of air combat and the lessons of the past. In the end, the Air Force had to choose which philosophy would define its next generation of fighters. On April 23, 1991, the Air Force chose the Lockheed F-22 as its next-generation fighter. The decision wasn't just about flight performance, it was about risk, management, and trust. Lockheed's team had a clear, lower-risk plan for development and demonstrated more of the capabilities the Air Force wanted to see. The F-22 fired live missiles from its internal bays and showed off its high angle of attack agility. Northrop's F-23, while impressive, skipped some live-fire tests, raising questions about readiness. The Air Force saw the F-22 as a more mature, evolutionary design, ambitious, but not a leap into the unknown. The choice of the simpler Pratt & Whitney engine over the complex GE variable cycle engine reflected a preference for reliability. Ultimately, the F-22's agility, Lockheed's program management, and lower perceived risk tipped the scales. The F-23 wasn't a failure, it was a phenomenal aircraft. But the Air Force wanted a fighter that balanced innovation with proven capability. The Raptor was born, but the Black Widow's story was far from over. The debate over the ATF decision still rages among pilots and experts. Some say the Air Force made the right call. The F-22's agility and combat records speak for themselves. Paul Metz, F-23 test pilot, praised its speed and stability, arguing it met or exceeded every requirement. He believed Lockheed simply did a better job selling what the Air Force wanted. Others argue the F-23 was more future-proof, with stealth and range better suited for modern threats. Tom Morgenfeld, F-22's test pilot, called his jet a quantum leap, but acknowledged the F-23's strengths. The split reflects two brilliant answers to a complex question. There was no bad choice, just different visions. Both jets pushed the boundaries of what was possible in aviation. Though it never entered service, the F-23 became a legend, a symbol of what might have been. Its prototypes now rest in museums, reminders of a pivotal moment in aviation history. The F-23's innovations in stealth, materials, and design influenced later aircraft, including the B-2 bomber and perhaps even classified projects. Its long range and stealth seem more relevant than ever as air defense systems advance, and the Pacific theater grows in importance. Some speculate the F-23's design could be revived for future roles, though that remains unlikely. The Black Widow's story is a case study in how the best design doesn't always win. Program management, risk, and culture matter as much as raw performance. The F-23 remains one of history's most compelling what-ifs. Imagine if the F-23 had become America's flagship fighter. Its speed and range would have made it ideal for Pacific operations, projecting power over vast distances. Air combat tactics would have shifted even more towards stealth and long-range engagement. Northrop might have become the world's top stealth aircraft designer, influencing future programs. The F-23's radical design could have led to new families of aircraft, but also new technical challenges and risks. Without the F-22's agility, the Air Force might have worried about close-in combat. The F-23's path would have been different, not necessarily smoother, just a different set of strengths and weaknesses. The Air Force's doctrine and industry landscape would look very different today. The ATF competition was more than a battle between two jets. It changed how America builds fighters. The fly-off reduced risk and forced both teams to deliver their best, resulting in two world-class designs. The program taught the Air Force to balance performance with cost, schedule, and manufacturability. Stealth became the cornerstone of modern air power thanks to lessons learned from both prototypes. The F-22's selection signaled a new era, but the F-23's ghost still haunts the halls of innovation. The story is a reminder. Sometimes, the best technology doesn't win, but the competition itself drives progress. The legacy of the ATF program is innovation, tough choices, and the relentless pursuit of air dominance. The Black Widow's legend endures, inspiring the next generation of aviation breakthroughs.